Hi everyone, I'm Crafty Kate and I run a small crochet business. On this channel we talk all things yarn and crochet. This video is going to be a WIP finishing video. So I have a hexagon cardigan pullover type thing that I started I think back in 2023. There was a TikTok video that I had seen way back then that went viral of a girl that was making a pullover hexagon. I want to call it a cardigan, but it's a hexagon pullover, I guess. And it looked super easy, and she didn't have a pattern, and I couldn't find a pattern for what I want. I wanted it to look just like hers, but there wasn't a pattern. She was just kind of freehanding it, so I decided to just try it and get going and kind of make it up as I went, and quickly lost interest because I didn't know what I was doing. So I have two hexagons started. So here's the first one. This is the biggest one of the two. And then I have this one. So I have some good progress on it. And then I have the yarn I was using is this Lion Brand Mandala Ombre in this purple color. And I think I originally had 4 cakes of it. So I've used a cake and most of this one, so I have plenty left. And then I was recently watching a YouTube video from PassioKnit Kelsie, and she's been making a couple of these hexagon sweater things for her drop later this month, and she talked about how she has a tutorial. So I was looking up her tutorials, and she actually has a tutorial for hexagon pullover that is kind of what I wanted mine to look like. And then her hexagon cardigan tutorial has because I wanted to do cuffs on mine for the sleeves and for the waist. So she has tutorials for all of that. So I'm hoping if I watch those tutorials, I can figure out how to finish this and make it look how I want it. So I got motivated to pull it out and see where I'm at and see if I can figure out how to keep going. I had a hook sitting in where I keep my whips. I had this hook sitting in there, so I'm assuming this is the hook I was using. It's 5mm, so we're gonna go with that. I'm pretty sure this is what I was using, hopefully. So yeah, we're gonna start working on this, and I will check in with you guys as I make some progress. Hopefully we can get it done soon, because it would be fun to wear to markets. That's what I was making it for originally, because my brand colors are purple, and I wanted just a cute crocheted sweater to be able to throw on for markets. So obviously I don't think I will have it for my market next week, but possibly if I stay motivated. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I'm going to watch the tutorials and hopefully get some crocheting done, and I will check in when I have something to show you. Good morning. So the hyperfixation last night was real for this sweater. I worked on it for hours and got so much done, and I'm so excited about it now. It's really coming along. So I had a lot more done than I thought. So once I got the second hexagon up to the size it needs to be, I was doing the thing where it was like, oh, I'll just do one more row because that's one more step, and then the next step was one more row. So I just kept doing one more row, one more row, one more row, and I got a ton done. So here it is. So I got it all put together. I have the neck done. I did the single crochet around the neck, so the neck is done. I wish I had gone a little bit lower here, but this is the first one I've ever done, so. And then I have the sleeves. So I think what I'll do real quick is try it on for you guys because it's really cute. So obviously it has more, I'm not done, but I'll try it on and show you, and then I'll talk about what I'm going to do next. Okay, so here it is. It is fitting perfectly. So this is a little collar I was talking about. I wish I had gone a little bit lower, but it's not bad at all. So there it is. It flares out a little bit here, but I think the way I'm going to do the bottom will help that. So I love it so much. I'm so excited. So my plan is to do the sleeve down to like here, and then I want to do the back loops only cuff sort of thing that does the ribbing. So I'm going to do that on both sleeves all the way down, and then I also want to add a little length here and then do the ribbing around the bottom as well, so it's kind of like a sweatshirt. I'm not going to add a hood or anything. I like the way the back looks, and I think once I add the cuff, this will cinch in a little bit. So yeah, I am so excited. It is looking so cool, and I love the colors. A couple other things I was able to get done on it last night was I weaved in all my ends so far, because I hate weaving in ends, and I had a lot. And I know once I do the sleeves and the cuffs and the bottom and everything, I'm going to have a lot more ends. So last night before I went to bed, I was like, I'm just going to weave in all the ends that I have and have that part done. So like I'm not dreading it later because I want to get this done. So I did all of that. And like I said earlier, I don't have a pattern for this. I'm kind of following a bunch of different things. So I will link what I have in the description. I believe the main pattern I followed to make the hexagons is a free pattern, so I'll link that below. And then also I'm watching PassioKnit Kelsie's videos, tutorials on how to make a cardigan and a pullover. She also has a tutorial for adding a hood, and she does the ribbing cuffs that I like. So I'll link all that in the description if you want to try to make one yourself, but I'm definitely winging this. I haven't done one pattern at all, and some of it I didn't follow either pattern. I just kind of made it up because I followed one to start with, and then I was trying to do it Kelsie's way, but I had already started with the other pattern. So I'm definitely winging this, but it's looking good so far, so it's fun. I don't know if I'm going to work on it much today. Today is my PalmStreet live, so I might end up working on it tonight because I'm super focused on it, but we'll see what happens, and I will check in when I work on it again. Hello! I think it has been about a month since I worked on this sweater, but I have some time right now and I'm feeling motivated, so I think I'm going to figure out how I want to do the sleeves. So I need to add some length, and then I want to do a cuff. So I need to do a little research, figure out my patterns again, and hopefully get the sleeves done today. And then all we have left is adding some length to the bottom and then adding a cuff there as well. So shouldn't be too hard. I just need to sit down and do it. So let's get started. Okay, this is taking a bit longer than I expected, but I got this first sleeve down to where I'm going to start the cuff. I did a couple decrease rounds, so I'm hoping that works out. It looks a little bunched up, but I mean, it got quite big. I'm not great with tension with this worsted weight yarn, so I think my tension was a little loose as I went, so it got a little big in the middle, but I still like it, so I'm just winging it and hoping it works out. So I'm following a little bit of directions from the free pattern, and then now I'm going to start PassioKnit Kelsie's cuff. So we'll see how that turns out. I might be frogging a little bit to get it how I want it, but it's looking okay so far, and then we'll just make the other one the same way. Okay, I officially finished the first sleeve. So I just added all these rows, did a couple decrease rows, and then did the cuff. It's a little hard to see the texture of it, but it turned out really good, and I just tried it on and it fits really well. This is nice and tight, maybe a little bit too tight, but I don't want to redo it. So I'm going to call it good. And then I'm hoping when I block it, it will add just a teeny bit of length, but it really fits pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to do the other sleeve. I am getting a little nervous about the amount of yarn I have left. So I have this much of this skein, and then I have one more whole skein, but it looks like more than half of the skein for the first sleeve. So I'm expecting to run out of this doing this sleeve. And then I need to add quite a bit of length to the bottom, which is way bigger than a sleeve. And then I also want to add a cuff around the bottom. So I'm a little nervous about not having enough yarn. I think I got this at Walmart, so I might be able to get more, but it's going to be a little bit of a scary game of yarn chicken, I think. But we'll see how it looks when I finish this other sleeve and then decide from there. So I'm going to start this, and then I'll show you when I have that one done. And we'll probably do a little try on after that, and then we'll start the bottom. So here we go. Good morning. It is the next day, and I was able to finish the second sleeve last night. So we have 2 sleeves. It turned out really good. I figured out my tension issue a little bit on this one, so it's more even, but really you can't tell on this one anymore either, so pretty good. I did run out of the skein that I was working on. So just this dark purple part right here is what I used out of this skein. So I have almost a full skein to add the length on the bottom. So I did try it on last night. I'm gonna wait and show you guys the try on when it's all done. So I have to add length. So I think I figured out I'm gonna try to add 10 rows and then do the cuff the same size as this. So we'll see if we can get 10 rows out of this, plus enough for the cuff. I don't know how much that will take, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get going on this. I probably won't film a ton because it'll just be the same thing over and over, but I'll show you when I get the 10 rows done, and then we'll start the cuff, and wish me luck. Hello. I'm not gonna lie, it has been a couple days. I hurt my back a couple days ago, so I've been kind of taking it easy, but I'm feeling much better today. So I did start working on the sweater again. I just did 7 rows on the bottom, so here it is. So I'm gonna do a quick try on to see what I originally measured was 10 rows for the bottom and then the cuff, but I just want to double check before I use too much yarn because we're already using quite a bit, but I do think I still have enough to do a row or 2 and the cuff. So we'll try it on real quick, see where we're at, and then go from there. Okay, so I think we're gonna do 2 more rows at the bottom and then start the cuff, just so it's not, I like my shirts a little bit longer, so it's not too short, but we'll do 2 more quick rows and then the cuff, and the cuff I'll do the same as the sleeves. So I think that will be perfect. Okay, I got the extra 2 rows done, and there was a mistake. I found several rows back, and because this is for me, I cannot be bothered to undo 4 rows of this to fix the mistake, but let's see if I can show you. Yeah, right there, I only put 1 double crochet in that space instead of 3. I have no idea. I've been watching YouTube videos, and I guess I got distracted and just squished that in there. You can see it, but the next row I did put the 3 on both sides, so technically it should, the final row should be the same as it would have been. So I'm hoping it doesn't make a big difference. I don't think it will matter at all, but whoops. Okay, so now I'm going to do the cuff just like the sleeves, but so I'm watching PassioKnit Kelsie. She's what I followed to do the cuff, and she had you use a smaller hook than you're using for the rest of it to make it smaller, but these ended up really small, which also could be because of how much I decreased. Like I said, I'm just winging this whole thing, so I don't want the bottom to be too tight, so I think I'm just gonna keep using the same hook and just kind of see how it goes for the first little bit and decide if I want to take it out or not. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch some videos real quick about doing the cuff along the bottom just to make sure I'm not missing anything obvious, and then we'll start going. I have this much left, so I can't imagine it would use that much, but fingers crossed that we have enough yarn. I did look on Walmart.com the other day and I do not see that color, so we need this to work. So I am going to look up what I need to do and get started on that, and then I will show you when it's done. We are almost there. Okay, so I have run into a problem. So here is my ribbing starting off of the bottom of the sweater, and it's not like cinching this in at all. And the bottom is pretty big right now, so that's not what I want. So I think, and neither one of my patterns has the ribbing around the bottom, so PassioKnit Kelsie is not doing the ribbing around the bottom in her tutorials, and the pattern that, the free pattern that I have doesn't, it's a cardigan, so it doesn't have this ribbing at all. So definitely making this up as I go, but so using the same size hook is not working. And also I think I need to do a row of single crochet around the whole thing to do some decreases to make the whole bottom a little bit smaller to start. So I don't want to make it too small either. So what I think I'm going to do is 4 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around, so that that would make it like a 5th smaller. So I think that would be enough to kind of cinch it in a little bit. So I'm gonna try that, and we'll see what it looks like after I get that row of single crochet around. And then we'll start the ribbing over again, and I think I'm going to use the smaller hook. Well, actually, if I make it smaller overall, it might still work with this. This is a lot easier to use with the yarn, so I'd like to keep doing that. So let's do that real quick, and then I'll show you what I think. Somehow, without doing any math, I ended up having the exact right amount of stitches for the 4 single crochets and then a decrease. So that worked out nicely. So it definitely cinched it in. I'll show you. It's hard to show it on camera, but it definitely cinched it in. And I think now when I do the cuff, it will lay perfectly, because it just came in a little bit. So that looks good to me. So now I'm going to start the cuff with the bigger hook to make sure it's stretchy, and we'll hope it turns out good this time. Hello, it is another new day. This has definitely taken me a lot longer than I thought it would, but I think it's turning out pretty good. So I got the ribbing around the bottom all done. It only changed colors twice, but I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm going to weave in these last few ends. I think there's like 6, and then we will do a try on. And then as far as the yarn chicken, I definitely won. This is what I have left. So I have no idea what I'll do with this, but it definitely is satisfying to have enough to make the whole thing. So good, good. So yeah, I'm gonna weave these ends in and then we'll try it on. So I'll be right back. Okay, here it is, all done. All the ends are weaved in. It fits perfectly. I am so happy with it. Here's the full turnaround. It's a little baggy right there, but I expected that just because of the way it's made. It gets so big at the bottom. But yeah, I'm so happy with it. So I just looked up trying to figure out when I started it exactly, and I still don't know like exact date, but I saved the pattern to my computer in October of 2023. So I'm assuming I got the yarn shortly after that and started on it. So at least a year and a half, 2 years ago that I started this. So feels really good to finally have it done. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I will definitely be wearing it to markets on cooler days. It does have some like airflow, but it's pretty warm because I made it out of acrylic. But yeah, I love it. I think I could have made the sleeves just a tiny bit longer, but I think they're good, and it's nice and tight so it won't be like on my hands in the way or anything like that. The neck, I might, if I make another one, I might tighten up here and then make this a little bit lower just so it fits a little more like a normal shirt, but I really like it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and let me know if you've ever made one before and if you used a pattern, because I wanted mine to look like this and could not find a pattern that looked exactly like this, so I definitely had to wing it as you saw. I feel really good about how it turned out. It's definitely not perfect, but I learned a lot, and I think I'd be better prepared for making one in the future. And I also know that PassioKnit Kelsie is working on a written pattern for one similar to this with multiple sizes in the pattern. So that's exciting, so we can keep an eye out for that. Let me know if you were working on anything while you were watching this video. I love to hear what you guys are making, and don't forget to subscribe if you like content like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!